una presenza.
Last month, Pope Francis made a shocking move by criticizing the obsession of the Church regarding gays, abortion, and contraception. Many Catholics welcomed the statements, but the conservatives believe that people misquoted the pontifex. In the Philippines, Asia's largest predominantly Catholic nation, abortion in particular is still considered taboo. It is also a criminal offense. Under the revised penal code, a person who intentionally committed an abortion with the consent of a pregnant woman is subject to imprisonment from 6 months to 6 years. Yet, the so-called pro-choice groups contend that women must have complete control to what they want to do with their bodies. But the other side, called pro-life, believes that it is against morality, and that it will not only put women at risk, but the entire nation itself. Welcome to Opposing Views, a hard, straightforward discussion of today's most pressing issues. The 1987 Constitution provides that the state shall equally protect the life of the mother and the life of the unborn from conception. Despite this, the New York-based Center for Reproductive Rights has recorded 500,000 Filipino women yearly induce illegal abortion. 1,000 women die and 90,000 are hospitalized due to complications from unsafe abortion. As the numbers are steadily rising, we ask tonight, should abortion be legalized in the Philippines? Good evening, I'm Rod Nepomuceno, and this is Opposing Views. Joining us tonight in our discussion is Mr. Lito Atienza, representative of Buhay Party List. Sir, Congressman Lito.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Rod.
Sir, your quick thoughts on your position on this topic of abortion.
We cannot possibly support that because one, it's against the Constitution. The intention of our laws, basic laws of the land, do not allow abortion. Second, it's against the law of God. The law of God, yun, mas importante yun eh. Yung utos at yung batas ng Panginoon, sundin natin.
All right. With us also is Beth Amsioco, National Chair of Democratic Socialist Women of the Philippines. Good evening, Ms. Beth.
Good evening, Rod. Good evening, Rep. And our position
your quick
here,
thoughts,
actually I represent women who look at the possibility of actualizing their lives. That's the general frame. But then we would want our choices respected. My thoughts on this is that we have to understand the issue, and then we have to address the needs of the women prior to having abortion and post having abortion.
All right. I guess I'll start off with the fundamental question. Is abortion in and by itself, immoral? Sir?
It's not only immoral, it's wrong. It's wrong to kill. You can never justify killing of anyone, especially the most innocent of lives. Baby too eh. Papatayin mo yung baby for whatever reason. I can understand where Ms. Antioco is coming from, na gusto niyang gawing available yan sa mga taong merong problema. Ang mga taong may problema, tulungan. Pero wag natin pabayaang patayin yung sanggol.
Actually, when we speak of abortion, we have to speak of the 610,000 women who have undergone abortion and who have actually put their lives at risk. There are very pressing needs that should be addressed. For instance, the 610,000 women, 2012 na data, would actually mean that there were at least 610,000 women who had unintended pregnancies. How do you prevent unintended pregnancies? We already have laws at this point that need to be implemented, not just the RH law, but also the Magna Carta of Women. And therefore, all the government needs is actually to put into effect these laws.
But do you think, though, that abortion in it by itself is immoral? You think it's in any aspect?
I don't want to pass judgment on the issue.
Sir, if I may, some of the proponents of pro-choice are saying that we have antiquated laws and our laws penalizing abortion in the revised penal code came from Spain, and now Spain has already legalized abortion. What say you?
Ang sasabihin nyo kumot yung mga ibang tao ay magkamali na rin tayo. Ang reasoning ni Ms. Antioco, 600,000 women suffer, so we must now allow more to suffer. Hindi 600,000 lamang ang victim ng abortion. Billions of babies have already been killed. If that is the argument, papayag na pala tayo. Hindi. Pag mali.
I speak of the law of the land.
Nagkamali
I speak
sila.
of the law of
Tulungan
the
natin
land,
yung nagkamali,
not law
pero
of-
wag nating illegalize ang isang pagkakamali.
Okay. Beth, you're saying you speak
Ako,
for
I
the law,
stand
about
for
the
the
law of the
women.
land.
I stand for the women. I understand the law of the land that is not going to be legalized at this point.
But if you had a choice, though, you'd like it legalized? Let's say it's possible. Let's say it's possible.
If it's possible,
You'd like it legalized?
Yes, I would like it legalized. But I do recognize that it cannot be legalized at this point. But also, we have to understand what makes women commit abortion. For instance, look at the profile of the women who are having abortions. 87 of them are Catholics. 87%, of them are Catholics. On the average, they have more than 3 kids. More than 90% of them are poor. And if you look at the issue deeply, you would also recognize and see that this is also a social justice issue. This is an issue that affects more poor women than those who are unpoor. Precisely because those who have the means, sometimes, we hear of women who go to Hong Kong, who go to other countries to have an abortion and to rest. But those who are here, the poor women who have already lots of kids and cannot even afford family planning, they are the ones who put their lives at risk. And it's the root of the problem is family planning. And this is what we would want to focus on.
So, and abortion is just one of those
Abortion
methods.
is a result.
Is a result.
In other words,
Okay.
killing
Okay.
is one of the solutions.
Right.
I will have to be very, very fundamental in our reasoning. Abortion is bad because it kills a life
Okay.
of the
And
unborn.
it has a tendency
It
to
kills
kill
an
women
innocent life
also.
who has got nothing to do with the problem or the causes of the problems that Ms. Anchoco is talking
Congressman, I'd
about.
just like to ask, though, when you say abortion, you're arguing from the time of fertilization? Because normally it focuses on that. When is it a human life?
Actually, it starts from conception. The
Right.
moment the two seeds, the woman's egg and the man's sperm unite, that's life. You cannot meddle with that anymore.
Yeah, but there is
Yes.
there is no distinguishing when the time of conception happens.
That's
So
an argument.
I think internationally, abortion and contraception are two entirely different things.
I will not argue on that because
Contraception
that has not
is-
been settled anywhere
Ah,
in the world.
yes,
But
yes, actually in the
life,
world,
abortion is abortion. It's
Abortion
killing. Let's not
is
call it abortion, let's call it killing. Termination,
termination
of
of
life
established
Wow.
pregnancy.
Termination
That
of-
is that is
changing the
uh,
status, termination of the status, it's killing. You cannot deny that. You kill a baby, that's abortion.
No,
That
okay.
is
sorry if I'm-
one way of looking at it, but other way is that what happens to the woman.
No,
1,000 women die.
There are more women dying of tuberculosis, TB, cancer, and all kinds
No,
of
but sir,
diseases.
maternal mortality is very high.
What you're saying,
And
there's
this is
so many
something
people
that the
dying out
government
of abortion.
agreed to address. This
So
is-
therefore, let's allow it.
This-
There's so many
no,
people
no,
who are
no,
now
no.
drug
I
addicts,
say-
so now let's allow it.
I say that we address the needs that lead to this situation.
Yeah, no,
I am with that reasoning. Let's help all the women who have problems.
Thank
Let's-
you.
Well,
there-
we're doing
Thank
something
you.
about it. I'm
Thank you.
involved in that.
Yeah.
No, the
We
argument
have a-
seems to be focused, Congressman. The argument seems to be focused on you saying that killing is killing and it's wrong. Now, there are instances in the law, like for example, if you catch your spouse in bed with someone else and you kill that person, you will not actually be. It's not actually a crime if you kill out of passion. There are situations where killing is justified and the only penalty is destierro. In this case, would you consider that the same
Ano
argument?
kasalanan ng baby? Walang kasalanan yung baby. Kaya sabi ko, you're killing an innocent life. When you kill an innocent man or an innocent woman, you commit a crime. You cannot deny that.
Rep, ano din po ang
When you
kasalanan ng
kill a
babae
baby-
na walang option sa buhay?
No, may
Ano
option,
din
may
po ang
option.
kasalanan ng
Sinabi
babae
niyo eh.
na hindi niya na mabuhay yung kanyang mga anak?
Anong
who
kasalanan?
needs
Bakit
to
mo gabubuuin yung bata
Who needs to
kung
save
hindi mo
those who
magawa?
are alive? That's precisely what women have been
All right.
saying.
Let's talk about the exceptional cases naman. No? Obviously,
Yeah.
there are certain situations, and frankly, Congressman, we were talking earlier off the air. Now, this is something that kind of bothers me in a way, because the ban on abortion is absolute. However, there are instances, for example, in the case of incest or rape or yun nga, extreme economic poverty. But let's focus on rape and incest, wherein the woman is going to be stuck with this, carrying this for 9 months, and having to deal and bring him up or her up for the next 21 years or so, if she's lucky.
You're talking about the victim of rape, right?
Yes. A victim of rape.
Nabiktima na yung babae, bibiktimahin mo pa yung sanggol. Wala namang kinalaman sa pangyayari.
So what you do with the
point ko,
women?
isilang yung sanggol at kung hindi mo, ayaw mong alagaan yan, maraming gusto mag-alaga yan. Kami lamang, meron kaming Home for the Angels, we take care of these babies. We're doing something about it.
Okay, Beth?
My point is that we should not disregard what the women would want to happen in her life. If we say na ituloy ang pagbubuntis na yan pagkatapos ipamigay yung baby, that's an option that the woman can take. But at the same time, if she doesn't choose that, what would she do? My point is the law is very rigid. It's true. Even at times when women's lives are put at risk by virtue of pregnancy, abortion is not allowed. I mean, the woman is alive. The woman is a person. The woman has rights. Why are we hesitating to help her?
No, let's help her. I'm not saying we shouldn't help her.
Instance.
We found an institution precisely to help mothers who experience unwanted pregnancies.
Can it cover those 610,000 cases?
We have saved 450 babies at this point in time. And it's a growing number. Lahat ito ay aming pinasilang, ito ay aming inalagaan, nakikipagtulungan kami sa Social Welfare Department, napapa-adapt nila sa mga mayayamang mga mag-asawa na naghahanap ng mamahaling sanggol. So therefore, killing a baby who's got nothing to do with the act is basically wrong.
Yung example mo, Rod, of
killing for the sake of, because you find somebody committing an illegal act, is another analogy. It's a different case. Ito, papatayin mo yung baby.
An innocent
Walang
baby.
kinalaman ito sa nangyari. At ito'y buhay na ibinigay ng
Can we argue though that a fetus, let's say in the very early stages, is still very much more part of a woman's body and not really a full human being? In other words, pag nilabas mo yan, hindi pa siya mabubuhay. Again, for the sake of argument.
Wrong again. Because yung buhay sa loob ng sinapupunan, palagi nila sinasabi, wala yan, dugo pa lang yan. Yan hindi pa buhay yan.
Beth, please.
Hindi pa buhay yan. Basta nabuo sa loob ng sinapupunan,
to protect the
buhay na
unborn,
yan.
you must first protect the woman who carries the unborn. I think that is unquestionable. The woman's needs should be addressed because she's the one who's carrying the unborn. I think we agree on that, right?
Then let us help the woman.
But on the other hand, if the woman's life is put at risk, what are we going to do? Let's save the mother. What if that necessitates termination of pregnancy?
No, it should never
because it happens, right?
It should never necessitate killing the baby.
And I know women whose doctors actually
You
decided on
you always
favor
cite
of that.
poverty. Why? Can we accept now that we are poor as a nation because there are too many children, too big families? You're wrong if you're thinking that way. We are poor because of the pork barrel, because of the debt, because of the economic corruption, because of so many problems which make the Filipinos poor.
I'm sorry, I have to cut you at this point, but we're having a lively discussion here, so that's great. But I have to cut you. I'm so sorry, we have to take a break. At this point, let's see the viewers' opinion muna through our online poll. No? Our question, should abortion be legalized in the Philippines? Now the results, yes, 40%, and no, 60%. Join the discussions online. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/SolarOpposingViews and follow us also on Twitter at opposing_views. Use the hashtag OVAbortion. We'll take a short break. More issues about abortion when Opposing Views returns. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching Opposing Views. Still with us is Lito Atienza, representative of Buhay Party List, and Ms. Beth Angciocco, National Chair of the Democratic Socialist Women of the Philippines. And we're asking tonight, should abortion be legalized in the Philippines? Now, let's talk about human rights, Congressman Lito. No? Is legalizing abortion consistent in providing, or consistent in offering women's, or completing, should we say, women's human rights, whether it comes to the right to life, health and equality, because that's their argument, that we should have full control of our bodies. It's my body.
The reproductive system is God's gift to man.
Yeah.
Yung ating sanggol na nabubuo dyan ay hindi na ating pag-aari.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God, and I don't. So can I argue that this is my body? It's my stomach that's going to grow, and I'm going to be going
The
through
woman
these.
has to have
Let's
control
talk
of her
about the
life.
natural law.
The woman has to have control of her life.
Not human beings. Animals don't kill their babies. Even the fishes don't kill their babies. Monkeys don't kill their babies. So if we follow the natural law, you have to save, you have to protect your baby.
My point is,
Beth?
if we talk of rights, the one who's alive is the woman.
Right.
The one who possesses human rights is
Full
the
human right,
woman.
uh-uh.
She's the one who's alive. She's the one who's a citizen, and therefore all rights accorded is accorded to her.
Yeah.
And therefore, if there are needs that if she has needs to be able to have control of her life, that should be provided. It's
Ako,
a
I'm
human
all
right.
for helping the women. In fact, Beth, you don't know this. I founded the biggest women's organization, probably in the Philippines. Kababaihan ng Maynila has 100,000 card-bearing members. Why? Because I care for the women.
But
Pero
at the same
yung
time, Rep,
abortion,
it was also
never
under your
namin
term.
tinuro.
It was also under your term that women actually complained because of lack of access to contraceptives.
Wait,
yes.
let me clarify that.
Your
You've always been
executive
telling these
order,
lies. I have
no,
not prevented anyone from doing what he wants.
Yes, the wording of your EO
But I have
is
followed the law by saying that
discourage.
health centers,
But
no.
But
My executive order was very
We have
clear.
members in Manila
Health
saying
centers,
that they
government
have to go
institutions.
outside of Manila
Alright.
to
Let me
access
explain, Beth. Let me
contraceptives.
explain.
We went
Beth,
there, Rep.
what is
We
your point?
went there. We did family planning fair.
That is one of those
No.
who've been peddling lies about what I've done.
This
I
is
did.
not a lie, Rep.
Alam nyo,
What is your
The
statement?
documents are there.
you've
Yes.
been telling lies. I did not prevent women from doing anything that is within the bounds of law. The law is very clear. Government institutions, health centers cannot be used for contraceptive distribution and population control measures. So I issued an executive order stating the constitutional intent. Hindi pwede ang health center pinaprioritize yung birth control pills. Kailangan asikasuhin yung kalusugan ng mga kababaihan. Hindi illegal yun. Yun ay ayon sa ating saligang
May I
batas.
answer?
Pero binabaliktad nila. Sinasabi nila, ako raw lumabag. Bakit hindi nyo ako dinimanda? Hindi nyo ako
answer?
dinimanda dahil wala akong
We'll allow Beth
ginagawa.
to interject. Beth? Yes?
Rep, the EO I recognize says discouraging the use of contraceptive because we actually studied your EO. That's one. Secondly, we have members in Manila who have been complaining at that time about access to family planning because there is none in the health centers. Thirdly, we went to Manila and we did family planning fairs there and we were swamped by thousands of couples, not just women, but thousands of those who need the services. What I'm saying is that you're saying that it's illegal, but even the local government code actually has provisions indicating that population programs should actually be implemented in LGUs. I know that. At the same time, there are several laws about women's rights. There are several laws. Even the Constitution recognizes the importance of women's health, and this has to do with
what
women's
we
health.
taught Manila women is values, responsible parenthood, and of course to be very, very industrious as we were ready to provide them livelihood.
Okay.
Yun ang tinuro namin, yun tama.
Okay.
Ay tinuturo nila birth control.
All right. Now, there's an argument that's saying that because it's illegal, right? So the women are now forced to go through illegal abortions, and since there's not enough government support, they don't have access to facilities and probably medicine and post-abortion care.
Kung ang problema, maraming ina na naliligaw ng landas, turuan natin ng mas higit na responsibility, turuan natin ng values. We have to go back now to the Filipino values. Hindi natin susolving yung problema na maraming nagbubuntis, kaya kailangan turuan na ng abortion, payagan na sila.
Also would want to recognize, for instance, that 2011, if you look at the records of PhilHealth, the top 10 surgeries that were performed, that were addressed by PhilHealth, 2 of these were abortion-related. If the documents are true, if the studies are true, that only 1/3 of those who have complications actually go to hospitals. That means that there were 150,000 women who had complications. Then it's a real problem that we
Tama
have
yung
to
sinasabi ni Beth. Tulungan natin ang kababaihan before the situation for abortion.
Yes.
And post-abortion, yung nagkamali, wag natin kondenahin. Turuan natin, akayin natin.
Let's talk,
dahil we cannot solve the problem by allowing killing. I'll give an example, Rod. I carry here, this is an example of an 11-week-old baby. Ito mo, nananahimik sa sinapupunan ng ina. Ha? Yan, pag pinayagan natin ng abortion, gagamitan yan ng ganito. Ayan, susungkitin yan sa loob ng sinapupunan. Walang kinalaman ng baby niyan. Ha? He is inside the womb, supposedly the safest place in the world for a baby. Yan ay papatayin sa loob ng sinapupunan. Yan ay pipira-pirasuhin, itong forceps na ganito. At darating yung point na they will even crack the skull of the baby inside the womb and flush it out and suction it out. And that's the kind of discussion that we're having. Allowing this kind of
whether
thing,
we allow it?
we should never
At
allow
the same
it.
time, we are talking also of the lives of women. This is a book that contains women's stories, real women's stories of those who have undergone abortion, who almost died, and who had suffered in terms of the choices they had
because
to
they were
make.
not allowed to have an
Because
abortion?
they didn't have
Beth,
any other options.
Beth, we should help these
my
women.
point is that we should not pit the mother against
The child.
the unborn, because the mother is the one who carries
Still
the
alive.
unborn. The mother is the one that's
kaya
needing
patayin na
attention
yung walang kamalay-malay.
and needs.
Patayin
That's
na
not
yung
the
sanggol
point, Rep.
dahil
That's
sa
not the
pagkakamali
point.
ng ina.
The
Alright.
point is
What's the point?
address the problems
point
of
is you
women,
want to legalize
and less
killing
women
an
will have
innocent
abortions.
life. Sorry.
Family planning alone will actually reduce abortion by 500,000.
Alright, let's talk,
That's very valid.
let's,
Why aren't we doing that?
Okay, let's talk about, of course, when we talk about the baby being sucked in women's cases, we will never end. So let's talk about cost. Will it be more costly for the government if we did not allow abortion, or do you think that by allowing abortion, it will be, economically, it will be beneficial, and also or are we just talking about pure human rights of women?
No, it also has to do with economics of it.
All right.
For instance, I've already said that of 2 of the top 10 services when it comes to surgeries offered by PhilHealth went to abortion-related needs. So it means that government has already been pouring money into this.
Okay.
If we remove these 50,000 cases from the baggage of PhilHealth, then it could have been used to other things.
All right.
That's one. Secondly, hospitalizations. Beyond the surgeries, hospitalizations.
For these women?
Yeah, for these women. 100,000 hospitalized is not a joke, okay? And many of them are poor. Who would help them? These are, especially the poor ones, it's government. Thirdly, studies actually has already concluded that availability of family planning would actually save government billions of pesos.
All right.
Well,
So,
Congressman,
We have no argument as far as orienting women properly, as far as giving them opportunities at economic activities. Lahat yan. Advocacies namin yan. Tulungan ang kababaihan, bigyan sila ng trabaho, tulungan ng hanap buhay, bigyan ng edukasyon ng mga anak. Lahat yan, tama. Ang ayoko at ayaw natin at hindi papayagan kailanman ng tamang mag-isip na Pilipino, patayin yung sanggol na walang kamalay-malay dahil sa sinasabing
Do
dahilan.
you think
Economic reasons should never justify the legalization of killing.
of an abortion?
I don't even want to call it abortion. Abortion is a very soft word. Killing, murder, heinous crime. We should never allow a heinous crime.
the question was economic. My answer was economic.
Now, with legalization, okay, we're wrapping up this debate, unfortunately. But I have one question. Will legalization of abortion, do you think, increase the cases of abortion?
Definitely. Because pag nilegalize mo yung drug addiction, maraming gagamit ng droga. Pag nilegalize mo yung prostitution, that's the easiest way out for economic solutions, maraming papasok sa prostitution.
Beth, do you think it will necessarily
pag pinayagan
increase
mo ang
the
abortion,
cases of
There are
maraming mag-aabort.
studies, very clear studies indicating that if even just for family planning is made available, 500,000 abortions will be prevented. Even just for me is very, very big, and I would go for that.
Pag nilegalize mo yan, billions of people and hundreds of millions of Filipinos will be killed mercilessly the way we have described it.
All right. Now, of course, we can go on and on with this debate. Obviously, it's a very touchy subject matter, but unfortunately, we do have very limited time now. I think that it's healthy, though, that we're having these discussions because it then provides our televiewers with insights on both sides and let them think independently. You know?
And very timely, Rod, because we're expecting, with the passage of the RH bill, meron din mga naglalaro-laro ngayon sa mga isip sa Congress, abortion ay susunod dyan. No matter how much they denied it, that's how the world trend followed.
That's an entirely new
Population control,
separate topic altogether.
population control, abortion. No. There are now congresswomen and congressmen whom they are working with playing around with the thought of abortion law, which we will
honestly
fight.
don't know of anyone at this point, because at this point, Rep, I'm honestly saying that as long as the Constitution is like this, it's not going to prosper. Perhaps exceptions, but legalization of abortion, that's not.
Exceptions. That's how the United
To save women's
States. That's how the
lives.
United States started it.
To save
We
women's
need to
lives.
learn how the United States liberalized abortion up to the third trimester.
right.
I think we have to learn from what the whole world has been doing.
You listen, you might learn. It started with the Roe versus Wade, a victim of rape, kuno.
Rep,
Yung
the
pala,
provision of the
after 20
Constitution
years,
is such
after
because
20
of
years
Roe
after they
versus
liberalized
Wade. But I also
abortion,
hope that you could
you don't want to
listen
learn,
to the
Beto.
voices of women, Rep. I
You
also
don't want to
hope
learn.
that you could listen to the
It
voices
turned
of
out
women.
after 20
It's
years,
not because we
there was no
disagree.
rape committed.
It's not because we don't disagree, we don't agree with you, that, we want something that you don't want. We
Yeah.
also want the same things.
I respect your views,
Congress-
but I hope you learn the basics. It's not abortion, it's killing.
All right. Congressman, the women who are espousing abortion or supporting abortion say the position of pro-life is anti-women. Do you agree?
No, definitely not. We're pro-life. We are anti-killing of innocent babies. And definitely, I understand where they're coming from, but they should realize it's wrong to
I'm
kill
sorry, I have to
innocent
disagree.
life.
Beth,
I
do you
have
think
to
it's anti-women?
disagree. I think it's
The
more
position?
pro-unborn and anti-women.
All right. All right. Now, we'd like, of course, it's a very interesting topic, as mentioned, and we'd like to continue on maybe for another 2 hours, but unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. We'd like to thank our guests, Lito Atienza and Ms. Beth Anciocco. The discussions regarding abortion in the Philippines are fundamentalist in nature. By fundamentalist, I mean zooming into the fetus as the focal point of every argument. But while we endlessly argue about this chicken and egg issue of a fetus's life and whether we consider a fetus as a human being, we sometimes fail to see that there is also a woman at the heart of the issue. So sometimes it's tempting to make it a debate between what's more important, a woman's right to her body or a fetus's right to have a chance to live. But there's a panoramic view of the issue at hand that needs comprehensive and critical understanding. Being given a free hand to choose for oneself should not lead to reckless choices in life. This is where the role of family values, morality, and everything to be prescribed in the pulpit come to guide us and not to impose. Now, at this point, let's take a final look at our online poll. Our question, should abortion be legalized in the Philippines? The accumulated votes from all our online platforms. The results, yes, 45%, it should be legalized, and no, 55%. And that's our opposing views for tonight. Tune in again next week for another bold and engaging discussion on the most relevant issues of today. I'm Rod Nepomuceno. Good night and God bless.